Hello,
Let me.
hello, hello. Good evening, good evening. Happy Monday. Listen, we just coming on laughing because today is Money Monday, right? Money Monday. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. All right. Happy Monday. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our channel. Welcome to another live broadcast of Prayer for Marriages. I am your host, Marcia Baker, an evangelist in the kingdom, and I'm here with our co-host, co-anchor, co-partner in crime, Evangelist Nikki. Listen, you're in for a treat tonight because we're still talking about navigating marriage with an unsaved spouse. We're still on that, right? And this is part 3. Listen, let me tell you something. This journey of marriage entails a whole lot of things that persons don't seem to understand when you're in it or before it, right? So we learn a lot of lessons while we're in it. Anybody can raise their hands? So listen,
Amen.
I want you to share this broadcast. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, welcome. Those of you that are watching on Facebook, welcome. Do me a favor, go ahead and share. That's what I'm doing. I'm inviting some people to come in on the feed. So go ahead and share this broadcast out to someone that you know that's navigating marriage with an unsaved spouse. Listen, all of us are not fortunate to have our partners worshiping or believing the same thing like we believe or in the same house of the Lord like us. All right. So we understand that it's a challenge and persons are navigating their marriage with an unsaved spouse. Last week we talked, we left off, we said that you can't be your partner's personal Holy Spirit, right? You're only going to be a stumbling block to them. So tonight we're talking about money. Can I hear somebody say money? Somebody say cha-ching. I wish I had the dollar sign thing just falling down because money, the love of money is the root of all evil, but money answereth all things. And I know one of the biggest challenge for most couples is finances. And Evangelist Nikki and I were talking before we came on and said, when you don't talk about the money, when you don't have boundaries set with the money, there is problems. So because Evangelist Nikki is the guru on money, that's her love language, right? Money. So she's gonna navigate this session on tonight. I'm going to be here with her, but she's navigating. I'm gonna jump in here or there. But I want you to pay attention because so many persons, and I'm just taking this time because once she comes in, she's just gonna go full force. We're going to be talking about some points we want to talk about when you work and your spouse don't work. And we're not saying male or female. We're just saying you and your spouse because it can go either way, right? Or because when either one of you don't work, there's a challenge with the finance, right? And when you both work, there's a challenge with the finance. And so we want you to sit back. We want you to listen and hear how you can navigate with you and your spouse, whether you're both working or one is working and the other isn't, about your finances. Because guess what? A lot of persons, right? When we're dating and courting, that's one of the things that we don't talk about. We talk about your ex, we talk about your parents, we talk about what kind of sex we want to have, how many children, we may talk about that. But when it comes to money, we don't talk about it. And I know I'm not out here by myself, so don't act like I'm saying something foreign to you, all right? We're talking tonight. Tonight we're going to talking about navigating with your money with your spouse. All right. So I'm going to present Evangelist Nikki to come in and talk to us and help us to navigate with our spouse, with our unsafe spouse, with our finances. All right. Over to you, Evangelist Nikki.
Awesome, awesome. I think you already kicked it off. I mean, you pretty much sum it up right there, right? Definitely good to be back. Good to be back. Happy Monday, everyone. Money Monday. Yes, another day. Yes, to be in the presence of my brothers and sisters, wherever you're tuning in from, it is truly an honor and a privilege to be in your presence. Whether you're catching this live or the replay, we're glad you're here with us. Please share with someone. And there's no one size fit all. We will say take the meat, throw with the bone, right? And it might not even apply to you, but you might know somebody that have this issue. Like, oh, we don't have this problem, and that's fine. There are some people that does. It's not for everyone. But if you know someone that might have this issue or need help navigating, share them this broadcast. Send it over to them, right? It's a free gift to give to someone is knowledge,
The
right?
gift that keeps
So
on
tonight,
giving.
there you go. Pass it on. It's no good unless we share it, right? So tonight, as Evangelist alluded to earlier, we're still on. I think we're in part three now, and how to navigate our finances with unbelieving spouse. In the context that we've been starting off the part one, part two on in the context of again unbelievers with a believing spouse, right? So we're still going to stick on this theme tonight because a lot of disagreement without even believing, or even if you both are believers, finance is already a sticky subject, right? It's already, I mean, it's one of the leading cause of divorce is finance, and I'm talking with two believing spouses, saved, Holy Ghost, filled, and sanctified. So you can imagine what somebody might be going through now with an unbelieving spouse when one is, they're pretty much mismatched in the faith right now. It
Mm-hmm.
is a real challenge, right? And anxiety for a lot of folks. But the thing is, what they mostly disagree on, because I want to talk on the context of this spiritual realm and the biblical perspective, right? And I would say finance is always a big taboo topic until it just overflow and people like I don't know you feel that way about money. I don't know you, right? Because as evangelist alluded to, we don't have the proper communication, the proper finance boundaries, because yes, we need personal boundaries, we need financial boundaries in our relationship as well. So one of the things we want to discuss tonight, how can I give to the church when my spouse disagree? It's still because we're referring in the context of the one that is unbelieving and you that believe you want to give, but the unbeliever disagree, right? The other concept you could even put it in: what should I do if you want to tithe, but your unbelieving husband does not want you to tithe? Same realm. We are still on the same theme. We're not going off script or going off topic. We're still on the same topic. But one of the first thing I want us to consider, right, is first there are tools out there that can help you discover your money personality. Because first you need to understand where they're coming from, why they feel this way. And the reason we're talking about money, because we had some comment on that, because we can tithes, believe it or not, outside of our finances. I don't know, y'all know that there's 24 hours in the day. Our goal is to give God our 110. It doesn't mean only in finance, because if you're not working, right, and both of you not working, one believer, one unbeliever, it doesn't matter. If you guys are not working, but you're getting subsidy, I don't believe you should tithe from, and that's just my personal opinion, right? But you can give an offering from that. You can still sow into the ministry, and you can also sow your time, right? So we don't want you to think that because this my spouse doesn't believe in tidings, because he does not believe in the same principles and values and the same God that we believe in, right? That you're considering like, okay, I do not want to be with this person. I don't need to think about divorce or he's a controller or all of that. They might be. Don't get me wrong. Before you can make that judgment, first, as we said, is communication. One of the best way to communicate your financial value as a believer with an unbeliever, when it comes to tithes, offering, and so on into the kingdom of God, there are tools out there in Google on, or you could chat GPT, whatever platform you use to get knowledge, that you can use to help discover your money personality. If you don't have a financial planner, and you might say that that's too much money to spend on a planner, there are free resources out there that will help both of you understand and discover your money personality. Yes, It is a personality. And where that stem from? Our upbringing. How did we see money growing up? What was money looking like when we growing up? Right? If you come from a mindset of barely enough and scarcity and whatever, it will shape how you deal with money now, how you value money, right? So the battles over money often stem from spouses having different tendency with money because we don't understand each other money love language. It is a thing, okay? You could be a saver, one could be a spender, one could be a risk taker, one could be security seeker, right? Love adventure, love to spend on vacation and whatever, right? Our boat just, every money coming we save. So we just eat pork and beans because we gonna save everything. Okay. And that's fine. But to understand where your partner falls under and where you fit in is to do the money personality quiz. And I encourage you guys to research because there's so many different ones out there. When you understand their personality when it comes on to money, you can take the step to address the issues that turn into disagreement, right? And why they don't believe you should give to the church, why you should not give to mission or anything like that, charity, whatever. There is a reason why they think that way. But how are we going to argue with a person if we don't understand the root behind it? So when it comes to finances, a lot of time we're fighting the symptoms. We don't take the time to get to the root to understand each other money love language. First, we have to identify each spouse's personal values, right? Oftentimes, there will be several shared core values. This is what brings us together, right? We have similarities and we have differences. Sometimes we might have more similarities, a little bit of differences, or more differences, but our core is very, very similar. The core belief that we stand on to make this relationship work is very similar. And you have to understand, we spoke about it, I think part 1 or part 2. What's your why? Right? Why? What's your why for doing what you do in your relationship? What's your why for being with this person? Right? You have to go back to the foundation. What bring you all together in the first place? If money become an issue now because one said tithes and one said does not tithes, you need to have proper conversation. Not throwing job at your spouse, not calling them all name out of the book of the good book, right? But take time out to understand where they're coming from. It is important that your spouse honor the ways that you think about money, and you also have to honor and respect the way they think about money. Sometimes you might not get the answer right there in that conversation, but don't keep going around telling everybody, man, my husband work, I'm a stay-at-home parent, or like I said, it goes both ways because some men are stay-at-home, some women are stay-at-home. It's not gender. So if I said I'm not genderizing it, yeah, okay, it goes both ways, right? You have to have a conversation how we divide up money in the household. How do I get, a budget for me or whatever that looks like for you? The conversation must be had because that's what caused the problem when you just come up and say, well, I need some money. Why? But if you already have a conversation, the why is going to come with an attitude, right? Don't I do enough? Don't I pay all the bills around here? What else do you want to take from me, right? That is from a place of hostility and anger and resentment. Why? Because the conversation and the core value was not identified. See, one of the biggest things that we do when it comes to finances, we make it seem like we have a fear of money. So because we fear it so much, we fear the conversation. Because we already made up in our mind. I know what he's going to say. When we go on a date, he said, don't tip. So I know he's not going to give to the church. Right? Well, it shouldn't be a surprise for you if you ask why you don't believe in tipping. Because some people just tip for tip, right? I have people that work in different industry and they do survive on tips, so to speak. So it is natural for me to tip because I consider my family and the work that they do, but with limit. Because when I don't just tip just because, right? My husband and I, or wherever we got with, we check the timing, how long it takes you to serve us, to seat us, the food, the courtesy. We put all of that in context. I'm not going to give it us the max or whatever. We're going to talk about it. And we all come to an agreement. What did you think about the service? What did you think about the food? The time, how they check on us, how they refill. So all of that we put in the context because we're having a conversation. It's not a one-person decision. And if we can't come to an agreement, there's a tiebreaker. We gonna split it up. So if we can't, if one say 10 and one say 12, we gonna meet in the middle at 11. And we negotiate. So it's a win-win overall, right? But when they decide no, there's no tithing, no tip, ask why, right? You did not meet this person overnight and just because a lot of people make it say, because I'm saved now, all of a sudden he's tight with money. Not because I believe in God and he doesn't believe, all of a sudden money become a problem. No, it was already a problem because you had never had the conversation. You had never discussed it. And it's not fair for us to label ourselves and say, now because I don't work and I work. When I said work, don't get me wrong, the hardest work is stay at home mom. It's the work that do not get no benefit. There's no time off. It does not come with 401k. All it come with is boo-boos, tears, kisses, joy, laughter. So you get the fruit of everything that goes with it, right? Love in abundance. I would not trade that job for anything in this world. I love being, the mom to my children. I love to see the smile on their face, right? So we can't put a price on that. We can't put a price on love. But to say, because you don't bring in a finance now, some spouse will use that when they're not having their way. Well, if you do like I told you not to go to church, you wouldn't have to have this issue about tithing. They will throw that in your face. Now you see why I don't go. Now it's taking away your time. Now it's taking away my money. Because now it become mine. It's not ours no more, right? But again, a lot of time when we're not using wisdom, when we're not coming from a place of love and humility, and we're coming from a place of demeanor or emasculating our spouse, the walls is already up. The wall is already up. And if when you do your financial personality quiz and you understand the strong suit, who is a stronger financial planner, financially savvy, right? That's okay to delegate it to one person. However, every decision financially must be made with both parties involved. It should not be an afterthought, right? Because a lot of folks said, she or he is the financial savvy. Once I let him do everything, that's fine for them to take up the responsibility, right? Prioritize the finance. It's delegated to that person. However, every conversation about the finance, every big decision that needs to be made, it needs to be had with both persons, including giving, tithing, and all of that. The conversation needs to be had because our values shape our priorities, and making a single list when you come together to delegate who is going to be responsible for the financial based on the strength of that person who is allocated to take care of the finances, we still have to do check-in. We still have to do follow suit. And because you can't say, well, they didn't check in, they didn't tell me how it was going. We both have a responsibility in the finance to check in with each other and don't use it as a beatdown, because now what we become is the person that's supposed to bring our spouse closer to God. We're pushing them further away because now there's a wedge. Because see, I don't want to serve God because now not only they taking you away from me, it's my money they taking away. Why would I want God? Oh, right? So it is imperative that we use wisdom. Like I said, having two believing spouse is a challenge in finance in itself, much less one that is unbelieving. We have to honor our difference by making compromising and setting financial boundaries. There's no such thing like, he controls the money. I need permission to get $20. I need the bound. If that's work for you, that's fine. But however, it should not be that person just said it by themselves. You should already have that conversation. This is what we agreed on. Because some people are spendthrift. They'll keep the accounting negative and they don't mind paying the overdraft and all of that. So you know that that's not their strong suit. Because I do not like to give the bank unnecessarily taking enough from me. I don't know about you. Overdraft is an anxiety attack for me. I can't do that. I can't do overdraft. It freaks me out. Okay? Where you might have a spouse, oh, I'll pay, they'll get it on the next check. And no, that's free money you're giving away. So you have to know your person's strength and personality when it comes to finance, and do not use the finance as a wedge. Like I said, finance is one of the leading cause of divorce. What we're trying to do is to bring our spouse together in the faith with us. And the best way to demonstrate godly principle over our finances is to sit down and have that conversation. Don't preach to them. Don't try to beat them down. Don't tell them, well, it's God money and all other things you want to preach onto them. Understand. Check for understanding. Why do you feel this way? Right? Why do you think that we cannot give finance? Is it that the money is not had enough? What is the issue? There is a root cause. Mm-hmm. So what we need to do is to listen to our partner and not coming from a place of, well, it's because he's not a believer. I bet if you, there's people that are believing and some don't believe in tidings. Some people don't. And they are faithful believers. Some people just don't. But there's a reason behind it. So we don't want you to burn down your house and push your spouse further away from the faith by letting money become a wedge between us. We have to be using wisdom, and don't keep every Sunday or Friday night, Saturday night when they get paid or whatever, don't keep beating them down about it. Right? If you're not working, do not feel like you're less than when they call offering or tithes or whatever and you don't have the finance. So your time.
Yes.
Have the conversation with your spouse, right? Don't just go and say, I'm going to spend, my 1/10 in my time, which is about 2 hours and 40 minutes, whatever that maths is, right? Right? You still have to discuss it and say, you know what, right now, we understand we're not on the same page when it comes on to our finance in giving, I understand where you're coming, because now you have in the root, you have that dialogue, you understand his root cause for it, you already did the work, right? And your respect and your honor it might not be what you want to hear at the moment, but as a faith believing child of God, you pray about the outcome, what you want God to do in his life eventually, right? Don't keep saying, God, this man you gave me, after you gave him all this money, this is what he's telling me, I can't. No, because every time you come onto money, it's going to be, what is it now? We already talked about that before. We're not going to discuss the church thing no more. Leave me alone. You're not going to reach them. They're going to shut down. Mm-hmm. So listen, honey, I understand right now, we're not there yet when it comes to tidings. Now you explain to me your why. I may not understand it. I may not believe where you're coming from. However, I honor you as my spouse and I respect your decision. Right? Leave it at that. Don't keep beating them down with it. So, honey, right now, what I'm going to do, since I don't have the finances, I'm going to sow my time. Is that okay with you?
And that's
another way.
That's important, Evangelist Nikki. That sowing your time. The sowing your time is very important. That's a good point. I like that point.
Because time is money. You can't have one without the other. Time is money. Mm-hmm, the most valuable currency in this earthly realm is our time. Mm-hmm, right? Because it is limited. And we take that the most for granted and let the almighty dollar become a wedge. Mm-hmm. It is a lot of people will go around complaining to their church mother, their church sister, talking negative about their spouse. He does not want me to sow. I would love to give him, but my husband, child, he's so tight with money. I can't get $1 to even give an offering. Mm-hmm. Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that right? Is that put him in honor? Is that speaking volume of your spouse that you're supposed to honor? So we have to use our word wisely when we're speaking with a fan. It's a sore topic for every relationship.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yes. Friendship, marriage, what business, money is always that issue where it's very, very sensitive. Why? Because everybody don't see money the same way. That's and until true. You understand where they're coming from, you will not burn down your house because of tithing, because you can't give today, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You can volunteer. There is so many other ways to give. Do not let the finance be an obstacle in destroying your relationship and push your spouse further away from God. Because now you go to church with a heavy heart. Because now when the offering basket come around and when pastor called tithing, think about it. You're not going to think about God. You're thinking about your spouse. All I needed is a $10. You're not. The human nature of us will have anxiety when tithes come around. When they see the offering basket come around, they start offering puffing, and now they shut down. They can't even receive the word to go back home and have that radiant attitude and that Christ-like, that joy that radiates from within, right? Because this was like, you go to church today. Why are you coming home so upset? What happened? Well, the tithe basket, and I'm the only one that have no money to give, which is not true. Okay? But we'll do that trying to make our spouse feel bad.
Evangelist Nikki, I want you to also mention about when because I know sometimes some relationships um one of the spouse will give the other spouse their money. Like it's I don't want to say a requirement, but some persons give the spouse their money, but their spouse is not a good money manager, and so now how do I navigate when we're both working and I'm going to use that word have to, right? Give you my money because you want to manage the money, but then now you nickel and dime me with my money. I understand about the tithing. Okay, I can't tithe, but if I need money for some personal items, I am now berated because I want to get some of my money, the money that I've contributed or put in the account. I can't spend some of my money. How do I navigate through that? And my spouse is saved. My spouse, we believe the same thing.
See, in nearly every couple, there's one person who's more skilled at managing the day-to-day financial tasks.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand that strength in that person and you see that they're a man of their word or woman of their word when it comes to the finance, you're not coming home getting no late notice, you know what I mean? You're not getting overdraft fees, right? They're contributing to retirement, they're ensuring the beneficiaries are updated, right? However, before all those take place, if it's one kitty the money is going to, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. If it's our money in it, we all must have access to it. There's no two way about it. If we can't have access to it, then that's an unhealthy relationship, and that's controlling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is a controlling relationship. You need counseling to understand why that person is so controlling over money. You see what I'm saying? So think about if you weren't working. Can you imagine? You're working and you should have access to the account and you can't even have it. Think about if you weren't working, how they have treated you, right? Or God forbid, and you can't bring home no money. What does that gonna look like? They already show you. You on your own. That's pretty much what that is when it comes onto the finance. They're treating you as if you're on your own. But when we are working together, we have to understand why is this person, have such a muscle when it comes to finance that I can, in this day and age, online banking, debit card, credit card. Come on now. Your name should be, you don't even have to go to the bank no more. There's Zelle, there's transfer. You know what I mean? You should have your own petty cash account for your personal hygiene and stuff like that as a woman to do whatever you choose to do. Whether it be $50, y'all agree on, or $100, that is healthy. But you have to have the conversation. But you have to check your trauma, how you were raised. How did you see your parents treated when it come on to money? Who run the household? And how did they do that when it come on to money? Did they use it as a weapon? You can't leave. You can't go nowhere. You can't even afford a Uber, bus fare to go nowhere because you can't go without me because you need me. That's an very insecure attachment style where the money can be a weapon.
Yes, it can be.
Okay?
It can be.
People can use it to weaponize you when you have a fear of money, when you don't trust yourself enough to have the proper conversation to discuss the money. Okay? There's no way. I'm okay if two people agree. Since you're more financially savvy, babe, when the paycheck comes in, because people don't really get the check anymore, deposit into the account. We have one set account that we get the paycheck transfers. And even if you do get a paper check right now and you cash it, we understand it's going to go to this account. We have to understand what is the use for it, right? What budget do I have set for my personal discretionary? What if I want to go get a Chick-fil-A or something once in a while or something, right? I shouldn't have to ask permission for that. There should be a limit on the amount that we can say these are discretionary spending, right? And it's agreed upon. A dictatorship or a pimp, You work, you bring me the money. That's pimping.
That's
You
pimping. That's
work,
pimping.
you bring me the money. You got no
That's
say. I
pimping.
make sure I put roof over your head. I make sure that
Mm-hmm.
every dime is accounted for. Okay, if you go to the store, you gotta buy retail, wholesale. So I know this should last you 3 months. So you shouldn't ask me for no personal hygiene anything because I'm gonna buy it in bulk, right? That's how the pimp treat people. And
Mm-hmm.
people, if they don't secure in themselves
Right.
and have value in themselves, boundaries, marriage, see stuff like that. Let us believe in people who stand for marriage look bad.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
see what I'm saying?
You
Because
know
now
what?
you're
It's
treating the person
true.
like a prisoner.
And
That's a prisoner in captive. I
let
know
me
they
tell you
said the
something.
wedding ring
That's
is
so
the biggest
funny.
handcuff, but come on now.
That is true. That is true. We have to learn how to really navigate with our unsaved spouse with our finances, and even the saved spouses, because I have quite a few saved couples who, they tell me, oh, my husband, my wife, with the finance, with the money. Listen, I know an awesome financial advisor, missionary
Yes.
Renee Johnson, folks. Let me tell you something. This young lady will set you on the financial money street called street. You hear me? She will, listen, inbox us, send us a message. We will get you in contact with her for her to help you navigate your finance, how to set a plan, a budget. She will give you a whole layout. Now, it's not going to be for free, I'm telling you now. It's not going to be for free. It will be for a small fee, but it's not going to be for free. So, because we all need help with our finances. I needed some help with budgeting. I tell you, she set me straight. When I tell you this young lady set me straight, well, she set us straight, my husband and I. She set us straight, and we are following that pattern, and it's working for us, right? So you have to follow your pattern. Evangelist Nikki gave some awesome tips. She said, if you can't afford a financial advisor, Google Land is out there. They will tell you
Yes.
step by step how to
Resources.
do it. There are different courses that you can take to navigate with your finance. But I want to encourage all of us to make sure we are handling our money. I had a guy working on my house, and he said, Marcia, I don't chase money. Money chase me. And I said, I like that.
That's what I'm
We don't have
talking
to chase
about.
the money. We don't have to chase the dollar. The
No.
money is gonna chase us. Money's gonna come to us. All right. But
The
we just have to
purpose. When
know
you
how
know who
to.
you are, when you know your purpose, it will bring you the finance that you needed because
That
that's
is
what
true.
God, when He entrusts with us, whatever gifts He gives us, it
Mm-hmm.
should bring us our harvest. We
That
should
is true.
use it as good steward as well to give back. Some people might not believe in tithes, but you give to your family, you sow in different way. The
Mm-hmm.
thing that we wanted to elaborate out there, do not let that be a stumbling block from helping your spouse come to the faith. Do
That is
not use
true.
the tithing as a crutch to beat them down. Do not continue to badmouth your spouse with others because, oh, they have me in a budget. They don't want to give me no money. You knew what you signed up for. It was working for you when you agreed to bring the paycheck home and give to that person.
Right. Right.
Now the value might have changed, which is okay. But guess what? You have to come back to the table and have that conversation.
And this is
You have
why
to sit down and discuss it.
I always say, and I say this all the time to couples, I say, don't start any cute little trends that you know is going to get on your nerves. You're going to be frustrated later on down the line, because it's cute when you first get into the relationship, into the marriage, and you say, oh, we're going to pull our monies together. And then you realize, oh, you're the one left out of the money. You're not seeing your money, right? But you agreed to it. And now that the person is overtaking you, whether it's the wife or the husband, just like they say hogging the money. Now you're upset, but you started it, right? So whatever plan you made, just make sure you have some boundaries. Just set healthy boundaries, especially when it comes to finances. This is why I advise couples, when you're dating and courting, when you get to the courting stage that you're engaged, have the money conversation. Have it. Just like you want to know where to go on your honeymoon, what the event location, the budget for the honeymoon. When you start talking about the budget for the honeymoon, that's a good time to talk about money. How are we going to do our finances? Are we going to bring them together? What are we going to do? Because the less you talk about it, the bigger the elephant is going to grow in the room. So please have the conversation. Listen, we are over our time. We're not out of stuff to say. We're just out of time. Evangelist Nikki, you did an awesome job. I pray that, listen, everyone that's on here, just go ahead and share it on your Facebook page, because you know a couple that's struggling with, not that they're struggling financially, but they're struggling with their finances as how to navigate it, whether your spouse is saved or unsaved, right? So we're our topic, and this is our third week. We're talking about navigating our marriages with an unsaved spouse. Now, this is part 3. We have more parts to come. Trust me, because it's so many parts in navigating with an unbelieving spouse. You listen, the things and the issues that have arisen out of a spouse being in the faith, and a spouse not being in the faith, and not just Christians, because I have other couples too, but most couples of another faith, they tend not to marry outside of their faith, right? Or outside of their belief. Like, you're not going to have a Muslim and a Christian together. A Muslim man is going to deal with a Muslim woman, and they're going to understand it. So does Jehovah Witness, and the Hindus, and it's the other religion. Oh my God, Jesus. The Jews, they're gonna stick with each other, right? They're going to, because they know the ramification. They know the side effects, so to speak, of being with a person that's non-Jewish or non-Muslim. But when we're Christians, we tend to now be with unbelievers.
Mismatch.
Mismatch,
Mismatch.
right? Mismatch. I'm not going to say unequally yoked, because that scripture don't have
Uh-uh.
anything to do with
Mm-mm.
marriage. When
Mm-mm.
we're
Nope.
mismatched with our spouse, then there is a problem. So we're going to navigate this thing for you. We're going to help you. Now, we don't know it all. We're teaching and we're learning too. Trust and believe me, we are. So, but we're just trying to help you as we go along. Both our spouses are believing. Thank you, God, because that, Jesus, we will definitely
And
be
even though
talking
they
further.
are, doesn't mean that they're not differences and
That's right.
time. So
That's right.
guys, we
That's
don't have
right.
those challenges too. Because
That's
it's
right.
not
That's
going to
right.
be fine, or it might be fine, but if you want to give to an auxiliary department or something
Mhm.
else, you still have to have those conversations.
You have,
It's
listen,
you have to have those
communication
conversations.
in the relationship, communication is so key. Communication is key. All right. Listen, we gotta go. We're gonna come back next week, and we're gonna pick up the conversation right where we left off. All right. Now listen, I want to invite you all. If you all are not a part of our Thursday night community, you want to be a part of it. You want to be a part of our Thursday night community. Last week our topic was what are my intentions for dating? And we had an awesome young lady that came on, Janelle Evans, and she taught us. Oh my gosh, she's a licensed therapist. She's dope, right? And so she's gonna be
Yes.
back with us on this week. You want to join our Zoom platform now? It's only on Zoom. It's not on YouTube and it's not on Facebook. So you want to get yourself in that Zoom room on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this week we're going to be talking about part 2 of what are my intentions for dating, right? So we're preparing you. Listen, Evangelist Nikki and I, we deal solely with the married people, but on Thursday night we have a plethora. We have married, divorced, single, dating, we have everybody on that platform, right? But we just want to thank you for coming. We just want to say see you on next week. Listen, we're just here to help you navigate your relationship while you're married to an unsaved spouse. All right. So listen, we love you. God bless you. See you next Monday at the same time. God bless you. God keep you is our prayer. Have an awesome rest of your evening.